Hello brothers, it's back in another video. Oh boy, today's video is going to be about Rafael Nadal's ceremony, Rafael Nadal's tribute at Roland Garros a couple of days ago, where the French Open celebrated him, where the French Open took farewell from him and gave him a spectacular celebration, and gave him a spectacular ceremony, and gave him a spectacular tribute, and it was absolutely deservedly. If somebody deserves to have that kind of a ceremony, if somebody deserves to have that kind of a tribute, if somebody deserves to have that kind of a farewell, it is definitely Rafael Nadal, who has been the most dominant tennis player in a specific surface that Nadal has been at French Open, where he has played 14 French Open finals and won all of them without going into a fifth set in neither of those 14 French Open finals. And who has he defeated in those 14 French Open finals? 7 of them has come to top two chief rivals of him. Roger Federer, 4 French Open finals, which he defeated all 4 of them, never played a 5 sets against him. And also then Novak Djokovic, which he played 3 French Open finals against and did not play one single 5 set against in those French Open finals against Djokovic either. He didn't play one single French Open final out of 14 that went to 5 sets. And he won all of those 14 in 3 sets or 4 sets. And speaking about 5 sets, he actually played only 2 5-setters in 116 matches that he played in total at French Open. And one of them was against John Isner in the 2011 French Open edition, the first round, which he won in 5 sets. And then the other one was against Novak Djokovic 2 years later in the 2013 French Open edition in the semifinal. These are the only 2 matches that Nadal played in 5 sets at French Open. All the other matches that he won, which was 112 matches he won in total at French Open. So he won all of the other 110 matches in 3 sets or in 4 sets. Talk about being super dominant. Talk about being superior at a specific surface. Tell my tennis fans all on roll down on the comment section down below if we have ever heard about a player who has won 14 titles somewhere in the world in tennis. Just tell me. I don't know. I don't care if it is a 250 class tournament, if it is a 500 class tournament, if it is a master, if it is a Grand Slam, if it is on a women's side, is it on a Challenger Tour, is it on a Junior Tour? Just tell me, have we ever heard someone win a tennis tournament in a specific surface? Doesn't matter if it is hard court, clay, grass, you name it, baby, indoors, I don't care. Just tell me, have we ever heard someone win a tournament in tennis 14 times? It can be 50 years ago as well, 100 years ago as well, 30 years ago as well. Just tell me, has it ever happened? I don't believe it has. What I know, it has not happened. This is something that we have never heard about. Nadal came and did that in the highest possible level. He did that on a tennis tournament that is the World Cup of Tennis, where we have only 4 these kind of big tournaments in tennis that is called Grand Slams, where we have 128 players competing. Nadal did that in that kind of a level. And how can you not respect that? And how did he do that? He did that against top 2 he did that against two of the greatest tennis players of all time, Novak Djokovic, who ended up with 24 Grand Slam titles, who is still competing, by the way, but let's see if he can win more. I don't think he will win more majors, Novak Djokovic. And he did it against Roger Federer, who won 20 Grand Slam titles during his unbelievable career. He did that against 2 players who won 44 Grand Slam titles together, Novak 24, Roger Federer 20. And out of 14 French Open finals that he won half of them against these 2 dudes. 4 French Open finals he won against Roger Federer, and 3 French Open finals he won against Novak Djokovic. If we count only the French Open finals. If we count semifinals, he defeated Roger Federer 2 other times in semifinals at French Open. And if we count semifinals and quarterfinals, he defeated Novak Djokovic in 8 more times in French Open semifinals and quarterfinals. He faced Roger Federer at French Open totally 6 times, 4 times totally 6 times at French Open. He defeats Roger Federer in all of those 6 times. We count both finals and semifinals. And he faced Novak Djokovic totally 8 times at totally 10 times at French Open if we count semifinals, finals, and quarterfinals. And he defeated Novak Djokovic out of those 8 times, out of those 10 times that he faced him, 8 times. So you can see that he did that on the hard way, Rafael Nadal. He did that on a difficult way. Some of you can say, but no, Novak's and Federer's least preferred surface was clay. Yeah, that's true. But they were still not weak in that. If Nadal would have been around, Federer would have had much more French Open titles. If Nadal would not be around, Federer would have won, Djokovic would have won much more French Open titles. And if this was not enough, Nadal could even have won one more French Open. And that one more I'm talking about is when he pulled out from the 2016 French Open edition after he won 2 matches in the first couple of rounds, and then he never played his 3rd round match because he hurt his wrist. At that time, Novak still had not won the French Open. He was a 0 French Open champion at that particular time in 2016. He has played 3 finals prior to that: 2012 against Nadal, 2014 against Nadal, and then also Novak played his first ever French Open final against a player who was not called Rafa Nadal, which was Stan Wawrinka in the 2015 edition, and he lost against Stan Wawrinka as well, Novak Djokovic. So in that 2016 French Open edition, if Nadal would have not been hurt, who knows what would have happened. I am not sure that Novak would have won that French Open edition 2016, to be quite honest. I really am not sure. Djokovic was not quite as good in 2016 like he was in 2015, because in 2015 Djokovic was outrageous, where he won 11 tennis titles overall in that 2015 season. In the 2016 season, Djokovic was still very, very good, absolutely, but not as good as he was in 2015. We all can agree on that. So if Nadal would have not injured his wrist in that 2016 French Open edition, he maybe even would have won 15 French Opens by now. Maybe. I'm not sure that Novak would have won that 2016 French Open edition. I really am not. And you guys are not sure as well. Even though that Novak defeated Nadal 1 year prior in that French Open 15 quarterfinal match, but Nadal was better 1 year later. We all can agree on that in French Open 2016, what was the case in the 2015 French Open edition. The other losses that Nadal had, there were fair and square against Söderling, even though some Nadal fans say in the 2009 that Nadal had some kind of knee injury. I don't buy that kind of bullshit. If he was on the court, he was healthy. He lost fair and square against Söderling, a big hitting Söderling who was in beast mode level in that 2009 4th round match, and Robin defeated Nadal in 4 sets there. And then 2015, Djokovic did one of his greatest clay court matches of his life and defeats Nadal in straight sets in that quarterfinal in 2015. And then in 2021, in that French Open semifinal, Novak did play a superior match and defeats Nadal in 4 sets. Even though that match in 2021 semifinal at French Open was actually pretty close, where Nadal had a set point in the 3rd set, which Novak saved with a drop shot. If Nadal would have converted that set point and would have been up in the lead 2-1, who knows how that match would have ended. And then the match that he lost against Zverev last year in 2024, 1st round, Nadal was never a threat there. Even if Nadal would have drawn somebody else, he would have won 2-3 matches, but he would have never gone on to win the title. So those 4 losses are the only losses Nadal had at that French Open. 2 against Djokovic, 1 against Söderling, 1 against Zverev. Out of 116 matches that Nadal played at French Open, he won 112 of them. That is just an unbelievable dominance. So if somebody deserves this kind of a tribute, this kind of ceremony, it is of course Rafa Nadal, where they gave him some crystal thing and celebrated him, where the big 4 were there, even though Murray was there as well, even though Murray is not as great as Federer, Nadal and Djokovic, we all know that, but he's after all won 3 Grand Slam titles and played 11 Grand Slam finals. If he would have played another era, we all know that Murray would have won for sure more than 3 Grand Slam titles. So Murray deserved to be there, according to me, even though he's not even close in the level as the big three. Together, all four there on the court. When you saw them on the court together, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, and Murray, they together had 69 Grand Slam titles, if I'm not mistaken, in my counting. Unbelievable stuff, unbelievable ceremony that the French Open gave to Rafa Nadal, very deservedly. And they showed some clips on the TV where he had won the French Opens. It was beautiful to see. Then he thanked his parents, he thanked his wife, and then when he talked to Tony, you could see that he could barely talk. He became very, very emotional. Tony Nadal, his uncle, who has trained him since he was 5 years old. And then in that moment, his tears started to come more when he was talking to Tony Nadal. And then as the cherry on the cake, like it is called, they gave him a footprint, and they, with the mark 14 French Open titles, and which Nadal thought it will stay there only on this 2025 French Open edition, but that mark will stay on the court forever. That is the biggest amount of respect that French Open can give him. And is it someone who deserves it? It is definitely Rafa Nadal, who has done one of the greatest sporting achievements of all time, not only in tennis, but maybe in all sports. For sure, Nadal's 14 French Open titles in this brutal, difficult sport on the highest possible level that he has achieved is, for me, I believe that for you guys as well, the biggest tennis achievement ever. So we will never see some player win 14 French Opens, 14 titles in a Grand Slam ever. They actually asked Nadal after the ceremony, they said, do you think we will see a player win this many French Open titles like you? He said, yeah, I know that this will be difficult, but if I could do it, it is not impossible. Somebody else also can do it. He was only humble, but we all know that. And he said that he finished that. He said that I don't think it will happen in 30 years' time, something like that. So I don't think that we all know that Rafa Nadal 14 French Open titles will be impossible for someone to break. It will be impossible. So it will not happen. This is the most impressive tennis record of all time. We all know that. Nobody will come in not only 30 years time, but in our lifetime, in 50, 100 years from now, nobody will come and win 14 French Open. Not only 14 French Opens, 14 Wimbledons, 14 US Opens, 14 Australian Opens. Djokovic won 10 Australian Opens. That is also difficult to break, but that is easier. Federer won 8 Wimbledons. That will not be easy to break as well, but that will be much easier than Nadal's. For God's sakes, Sampras won 7, Roger Federer came and won 8. So one player like Alcaraz can definitely win 8 Wimbledons or even more. But Nadal's 14 will stay as a record, according to me, forever. This is not an easy record to achieve. This is not an easy record to break. So it is someone who deserved it, that kind of a celebration. It was definitely Rafa Nadal, and it as a cherry on the cake to have his footprint and to have his symbol of the tournament 14 on the court that will stay forever. It was really, really beautiful from Roland Garros, and I really, really liked it. And Nadal, when he saw that, he became extremely emotional, and it was a really, really big surprise to see. I didn't expect that as well, but when I saw it, I became, to be quite honest, glad and happy when I saw it, because it is someone who deserves it. It is definitely him. Rafa Nadal, what a career, what an achievement. And that celebration he had last year at Davis Cup, it was really not fair. It was not as good. It was not what he deserved it. This one that he got at French Open, it was much better. It was much more deservedly, because if he would have finished his career with that celebration at Davis this cup, it would not have been fair to his career, according to me. But this one at French Open was really what was as the best possible farewell for Rafael Nadal's absolutely astonishing tennis career. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!